for 5 years. Immigration hardliner Steve King of Iowa has introduced a new law today that would make it illegal for local officials to tip off undocumented immigrants about ICE raids. And the threat is, if you do it, you could go to prison for 5 years. King is calling it the Mayor Libby Schaaf Act, naming it after the mayor of Oakland, Libby Schaaf, who has warned her community about upcoming ICE raids. Trump pushing the Justice Department to investigate Schaaf for obstruction of justice, so it's an all-out onslaught. In just a moment, Mayor Schaaf will be joining me for an exclusive interview, but I want to begin first with Sunland Safadi on Capitol Hill. And Sunland, this bill from Congressman King, is it all about trying to please the president, who of course has slammed Mayor Schaaf and sort of made her the face of these sanctuary city policies?
Yeah, I think in large part, yes, Aaron. Certainly Steve King here is really essentially picking up the fight for President Trump, more so than this bill actually likely becoming law. We certainly know how President Trump feels about sanctuary cities. We certainly know how he feels about the Oakland mayor. He's really been zeroing in on her. It was only last week that President Trump suggested that she should be investigated for obstruction of justice. So what we've seen from Congressman King and releasing this proposed legislation today is really stealing a page from the president's own playbook and really poking her in the eye by viewing this bill after the Oakland mayor and using the exact same language as President Trump in the legislation. Steve King saying, quote, "This is obstruction of justice and Americans do not have to put up with it. I want lawless sanctuary city politicians to hear this message clearly. If you obstruct ICE, you're going to end up in the cooler." And that's from Steve King today in a release about his proposed legislation. And as you said, Aaron, this would threaten prison time up to 5 years of prison for any state and local officials.
All right, Sunland, thank you very much. So now let's talk to the person the bill is named after, that King is threatening to send to jail, Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, in her first national TV interview since President Trump started attacking her for her immigration policies. Mayor, thanks so much for your time. So now you've got this legislation named after you, threatening to put you in the cooler. What's your reaction?
Listen, I'm not going to let the bullies in Washington, D.C. deter me from doing what I know is right for my community. In Oakland, we're very clear about what our values are. We value our immigrant communities, we value diversity, and we will not let anyone intimidate us. We will not apologize for those values.
So if legislation like this were to pass, obviously you could be going to prison. Is that something you're willing to do, to stand up for what you believe in?
So it is not possible that legislation like that could be legal. Sanctuary city policies are legal policies. They've been well researched. They are within the confines of what local and state jurisdictions are allowed to do. That is part of the beauty of American democracy, a balance between local, state, and federal power. And I can tell you that I know a lot more about what makes my community safe than a Congress member from Iowa.
So the president, of course, has picked on you personally, and that's why Congressman King went after you, right? At the California Sanctuary State Roundtable last week, President Trump said you should be investigated for obstruction of justice, and I want to play that for you, Mayor Schaaf.
You had the mayor of Oakland that I read where you had 1,000 people. Tom, you know this because it was your deal. You had 1,000 people together. Many of these were illegals and were criminals and were all sorts of work. And she informed them, and they all fled, or most of them fled. And that whole operation that took a long time to put together. I mean, you talk about obstruction of justice. I would recommend that you look into obstruction of justice for the mayor of Oakland, California, Jeff.
All right, so you heard him there, Mayor, saying, look, you warned these people, 1,000 of them, they all fled, most of them fled, those are his words. He says you should be investigated for obstruction of justice. What do you say?
So I think what speaks volumes to how factually accurate that statement could possibly be is the fact that ICE's own spokesperson, James Schwab, resigned from his position because he refused to tell lies like that. That is a ridiculous statement that has come from our president, and it's just further political theater and a distraction from actually having the real and necessary but difficult conversation conversation about how to fix our broken immigration
And
system.
look, they are necessary and they are difficult. I just want to make sure I understand. When you say what's factually inaccurate in there, is it obstruction of justice, or is it that he says that you warned 1,000 people and they all fled?
The accusation that I personally, that the warning that I gave, which was very general, which was really just advising people about their legal rights and the resources, as well as the responsibilities that they have. The idea that that caused any amount of people to not be apprehended as part of that operation just cannot be true.
The president, of course, Congressman King, Attorney General Sessions, they all agree on one crucial thing. They say that by tipping off immigrants, officials like you are putting law enforcement officials' lives in danger, right? That then they're going to know they're coming into the community, that this can cause a loss of life for law enforcement. Are you sure that they're wrong? Is that fear-mongering, or is there truth in it?
Well, there has been a lot of fear-mongering by this administration. ICE itself confirmed that there were no injuries at all during this operation to ICE agents. The information I gave was very general in nature, no specifics. I do not see how it could have possibly endangered any law enforcement officials.
As you say, significant, but I just would confirm there were no injuries. Before we go, Mayor Schaaf, I have to ask you about something else the president has said. And, you know, this is a controversial thing. He's come under criticism for it, but he's owning it. Calling members of the violent MS-13 gang animals. Today, the White House tripled down on that. They actually put out a press release, and they titled it, quote, "What You Need to Know About the Violent Animals in MS-13." The president's repeatedly stood by those words. You obviously have seen this. Is that a fair use of the word?
I believe that this president's language is racist. It is fear-mongering, and it is trying to distract the American people from the job that elected officials are supposed to do, and that's improve the lives of the people that we represent, instead of casting blame and dispersion against a very vulnerable population. That's what we're doing here in Oakland. Oakland is a very proud, diverse sanctuary city. Our crime has gone down over the last few years. We are working on safety by lifting up our children, getting them college degrees. That's the work that politicians should be doing, not trying to blame others for their own failings.